I have a studio in Fort Point near South Station, and I've also been teaching at the Museum School in Tufts for close to 40 years. Um, and my going back to the Eliot School, I don't actually know when I started there. My guess is like 1998. Um, and I was teaching what is now the figure drawing drop-in. However, when I was teaching it, it wasn't so much of just a drawing group, but an actual drop-in class where there was regular instruction. Some people came weekly, some people came when they can, some people came religiously, and some people just came now and then. But we were actually doing this program at what was then the Jamaica Plain Art Association. The Jamaica Plain Arts Center, which doesn't exist anymore. And for people who don't remember that far back, it's where J.P. Licks is now. And I taught a class there that became an every Tuesday night class. It didn't start off that way, but it became. And then when the building was being sold and when the Jamaica Plain Arts Center was closing, my students and I said, we need to continue this, even if it's not going to be in the same location. And I knew of the Eliot School then, even though I didn't know much about it. Their catalogs at the time were really just a postcard with a list of classes, and basically said that I wanted to just transfer this existing class from one location to the other. But we ended up making the switch without even missing a Tuesday night, without even missing a week. Which was after that, this class just continued for many, many, many years. I don't really know how many years. It'd be fun to know that now. And then my schedule changed at the Museum School where I teach at Tufts. And I needed my Tuesday nights back. And that's when that class became just a drop-in class, drop-in and draw. But then soon after that, somehow I got called back to continue teaching. That I started teaching the workshops on Sundays, which at one point was an all-day workshop, and now it's just Sunday afternoons, and it was once a month, and teaching in the summer program for a weekend each summer. It's really an easy place to be a teacher and a student and to be oneself. I live pretty close by. I can walk there. It's part of my community. It's a really nice place to teach. The students are wonderful. The students are kind of like wonderful sponges, wanting as much as they can get. They're there because they really want to be there. And many find that it's a wonderful kind of community place for them to express who they are in lots of ways. The teaching I do there is the longest running program of the Jamaica Plain Arts Center. The way I like to teach and about the Eliot School is I get students at all levels of experience. And I like that mixture where people can learn from each other. And I like how people kind of, I treat kind of classrooms as communities rather than as classrooms. And I don't really like the hierarchy of here's a group of students and they're supposed to learn from me. I think of them more as learning from each other, including me. And people look at each other's work and talk to each other and become friends. And people learn from the freshness of those who have less experience, and people with less experience learn from the dedication and the skills and the expressions that people with more experience have. So I really want to thank the Eliot School and to thank my students for being so wonderful and so creative. And since people will be watching this online rather than in person, is how important it is to keep drawing and keep drawing during times when the structure for drawing, say the classes they're going to, aren't happening. And that being creative is part of self-care, and being creative is part of being alive, really. There's so much that we don't have control of in the world these days, and making stuff may not be exercising control, but it's something that you can say that you did on your own, and that you'll learn about who you are along the way. I think it's really important to support the Eliot School, since they're closed, or closed at least to classes right now. And so I want to really kind of thank all the students, and I appreciate the Eliot School very much for all it's done for me and for so many people over the many hundreds of years it's existed.